Myanmar's ousted civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been charged with breaking an official secrets law, the most serious charge against her yet. Speaking to Reuters, her lawyer also confirmed 3 of her deposed cabinet ministers and an Australian economic advisor were charged a week ago in a Yangon court, but only learned of the new charge 2 days ago. If convicted of this new charge, she could face up to 14 years in prison. Aung San Suu Kyi and other members of her National League for Democracy have been detained since the February 1st coup. They've also been charged with illegally importing handheld radios and breaching COVID-19 protocols.
What kind of bullshit is this? Just what the heck is going on over in Burma? I'm not going to call the country Myanmar. I'm going to call it Burma, because I'm so used to calling the place Burma. Just in case you don't know, I was born in, Burma. It pains me to see the people, the local, in such pain. These people are getting hurt. They are dying. More than 500 people killed, and according to the news, there are like about 40 kids. They got killed by the military. What is going on there? To kill your own people? Okay, my dad decided to leave the country the moment he graduated from the university. So he applied for a job here in Hong Kong, all right? And I believe like it wasn't immediately because we had to apply for a passport. So we ended up in Hong Kong back in the late or the mid. Well, I cannot remember exactly, but it was sometime around in the mid 70s or so. I was like 4 years old. So obviously living in Hong Kong for the first couple of years, it was somewhat tough for me as a kid because of the language barrier. But I learned quick because of the TV. So, and well, back in the 2000-ish, I guess, cannot remember exactly, Aung San Suu Kyi, she came into power and the whole country started to change. This is good news. I hope that people will prosper and the country as a whole could prosper because of the whatever changes they are doing. So I was actually glad, but with the recent twist of event, I cannot believe my eyes. I just don't get it. Let's just pray for the country and the people. I hope they are safe. I hope the country could move forward into becoming a better place, a better country, a better, better global citizen. So what's it like living in Hong Kong? I mean, literally living here, going to school, going to work, hanging out with your friends, and maybe even renting a place, buying a property, etc., etc. Quite literally calling the place home, which I'm pretty sure like it's completely different from going on a vacation. I'm not sure whether I should consider myself to be a local because how we live our daily, it's somewhat different from Alright, Carmen and I, we have this somewhat of an odd lifestyle living in Hong Kong. First of all, we don't have to travel to an office, going to work every morning, etc., etc. Basically, we are living and working all under the same roof. It's sort of like a blessing for us, and trust me, we are grateful for that. Well, it's a great place to live in Hong Kong if you are into shopping, food, whatever fancy lifestyle that you are looking for. Hong Kong has everything. It's convenient. Well, generally speaking, it's pretty safe to live in Hong Kong. So it's a good place. But the thing is, there are always pros and cons. So I guess like this is what I want to talk to you guys about, the downside of living in Hong Kong. Strictly my opinion, not necessarily to those honkies. Alright, honkies, the locals, I suppose. The first thing I dislike about living in Hong Kong, this place is so crowded. It's crowded wherever you go. It's close to 8 million people living in this really small area. It's quite impossible to get some peace and quiet. Now, obviously, the good side about being so crowded, so densely populated, it's really exciting to live here. But the downside is you're constantly always all pumped up. If you've been living here for what, 2 years, 3 years, the tension will start to build up, which leads to my second point. Actually, living here in Hong Kong is so damn expensive, be it rental or even buying a property. Well, to put things into perspective, on an average house about the size of approximately like 400 square feet will cost you on average 1.5 million USD. That is a lot of money for such a tiny dingy little place. The whole point of us working or making a living is to pay the mortgage or to save up enough just to buy a property. Well, it's perfectly understandable that you wouldn't want to save up and buy a house. The reason being is the rent will go up. Well, it's almost guaranteed it will go up after each contractual period. I've heard my friends telling me their rent has gone up to about their rent has gone up like 50% after one single contractual period. If you are a fresh out graduate, you get a job, you work hard, you save up, the salary will increase through time, with more experience and all that. But there's the salary increment would never be able to catch up with the property market. It's just impossible. So that's almost a guarantee that they would never be able to afford to own a property here in Hong Kong. The parents will chip in, will help the kids to own a house, to buy a property. That's pretty much the only way the kids or the young ones will be able to afford one. The point I'm trying to make is, I'm talking about a quality of life, not necessarily in terms of the material wise, like having a Leica or not. It's almost non-existent because you are constantly under the pressure of like, oh my god, my rent will go up. There's always time for you to work hard, there's always time for you to study hard, but there's also time for you to spend quality time with your family, with your friends, and even with yourself. Well, I'm not saying you have to buy a property or not, but the fact that living in Hong Kong there's always a constant pressure of housing. It's really difficult for us to have a sense of belonging, I suppose, because we are constantly worrying about moving. It basically boils down to all we are doing on a daily basis. It's making money. Personally, I feel life shouldn't be like this. Not everything is about making money. You have a high-paying job, but like you have to work from from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night. I don't think it's worth it. But in some sad way, this is Hong Kong. You either work long hours just to make the ends meet, or you work long hours because what is that to do? You want to make more money so that you can buy more things. Maybe I'm getting old and all that, so I feel this is so unnecessary. I want to enjoy life a little bit, and Hong Kong is just too hectic for me. So we don't particularly enjoy living here in Hong Kong. Well, at least we don't enjoy living here as much as we used to. I don't think Hong Kong is a good place to retire. Carmen and I, we have been talking about moving out of Hong Kong. Maybe we could go to Thailand, maybe we could go to, I don't know, Taiwan, settle down next to a beach, hang out, do our yoga, buying a house in Thailand is so much cheaper than here in Hong Kong. For the same price, you could get a mansion. Oh my God. I mean, and when I saw this video, I was literally shocked. I wouldn't mind just hanging out by a beach, be a beach bum, for example. So who knows, maybe a couple of years down the road, we might just pull everything out of Hong Kong and move elsewhere. We'll see, who knows. Am I making sense at all? You see, I don't write a script down. Maybe next time I should, write down a script so that I could. Alright guys, that's about it for this video. I will talk to you guys next time.